Hey everyone. So today we're going to talk about something that's, well, it's everywhere. It's the box in your doorstep, it's the cup in your hand. We're talking about sustainable packaging, and we're going to break down what that term actually means. I mean, really think about it for a second. That coffee cup you grabbed this morning, or maybe the container from last night's dinner, we use this stuff every single day, right? But have you ever really stopped to ask yourself, after that one super quick use, where does it all go? Well, here's a number that might just stop you in your tracks. 91%. That's the percentage of all plastic that is never recycled. Let that sink in. It just ends up in landfills, or it gets burned, or worse, it's polluting our oceans and our parks. It's a system that, let's be honest, is massively broken. And that really gets to the heart of it. This isn't just about a piece of litter on the sidewalk. We're talking about a global packaging problem. This is a huge systemic challenge that means we have to completely rethink how we make things, how we use them, and what we do with them afterwards. And this slide right here, wow, it really puts things into perspective. When you look at all the different ways we create plastic waste, one category just towers over everything else. See that giant bar all the way on the left? Yep, that's packaging. It's the single biggest contributor, and it's not even close. Okay, so we've seen how big the problem is. But you know what? It's not all doom and gloom. There's this huge push for a solution, and it all comes down to this one word, sustainable. But what does that buzzword even mean when you see it on a bottle or a box? Let's figure that out. Okay, so here's the official definition, but what it really means is that we have to think about the entire journey. It's not just about what happens when you toss it in the bin. It's about the whole shebang. Where did the materials come from? How is it designed? And what is its destiny after we're done with it? It's about looking at the full life cycle. So how do we actually do this? Well, the foundation is a framework I'm sure you've heard of before, the 3 R's: reduce, reuse, and recycle. But here's the key part. They are in that order for a very important reason. The most powerful thing you can do is just reduce what you're using in the first place. Reusing is the next best thing. And recycling, well, that's kind of our last line of defense. All right, so keeping those 3 R's in mind, let's open up the toolkit and look at the actual options you see out there in the wild. This is all about how to decode the labels on the stuff we buy every day. And we're going to start with the one we all think we know so well. Recyclable, yep, we all know this one, the little chasing arrows. The promise is so simple, right? This container can be broken down and turned into something new, like maybe a fleece jacket or a park bench. It sounds like a perfect closed loop. The problem is, that promise gets broken. A lot. And this is exactly where that promise falls apart. Hey, remember that 91% from the beginning? Here it is again. See, the thing about that recycling symbol is that it's not a guarantee. It's more like a suggestion. It just means the material is technically able to be recycled, not that it will be. The hard truth is that only about 9% of plastic actually makes it all the way through the process. So what are our other options? You've probably seen this word popping up a lot more lately, compostable. And the promise here sounds even better, that this fork or this cup can just, return to the earth. But this is where things get really, really confusing for a lot of us. Okay, this is so important to get right. Compostable and biodegradable are not the same thing. Not even close. Compostable means a material can break down into healthy soil. But, and this is a huge but, it can only do that in a super hot industrial composting facility. Tossing it in your backyard won't work. And biodegradable? That's a super vague and honestly often misleading term. I mean, a plastic bottle is technically biodegradable if you're willing to wait 500 years for it to break down into tiny pieces of microplastic. This quote really sums up the big idea, the ultimate goal. It's about getting away from our current system, which is basically take, make, and then throw away. We need to move to a circular system, one where materials just keep getting reused and repurposed, so that the whole concept of trash kind of becomes a thing of the past. So, that's a lot of information, but what can you actually do with it? How does this help you when you're just, at the grocery store? Well, here's your game plan for becoming a much smarter consumer starting today. So here it is, a simple checklist. First, look for stuff made from recycled materials. It'll say post-consumer recycled content. That creates a market for the stuff we recycle. Second, get to know what's actually recyclable where you live. Paper and glass are usually a pretty safe bet. Third, and this is a big one, just prioritize reusable containers whenever you can. And finally, use your voice. Ask your favorite coffee shop or local store about their packaging choices. Your questions matter.
The cool thing is, we can all start making these better choices right now. But what gets me really excited is looking ahead, because there is some incredible innovation happening that could completely change the game for the future of packaging.
This timeline really puts it all into context. I mean, we went from simple stuff like glass and paper to the explosion of plastic in the 50s. Right now, we're in the middle of this huge push for circularity. But just look at what's on the horizon. Packaging grown from mushrooms, wrappers you can literally eat, materials that can heal themselves. Seriously, the future is going to look wild.
And so, I just want to leave you with this one final thought. We've talked about the problems, we've talked about the solutions, but it all comes down to just shifting how we see things. What would our world look like if we stopped seeing packaging as disposable trash and instead started seeing every single piece as a valuable resource with a future? What if every single package we used was designed to have a second or third or even a fourth life? That's the future we can start building right now.